Okay, as a kid, I was growing up in Bangladesh. I was born in the city. The name of the city is Chittagong. The area where we grew up was called North Nalapara, Uttar Nalapara, so North Nalapara. It was fun. Growing up was fun. I had loving parents. We had friends, kids of my age around there, and then we used to play around. And my parents were able to provide. My father was able to provide us. Back at that time, not everybody was well enough to, bring food in the house. Some people were struggling. So as I was growing up, I saw my neighbor, they were struggling. So my father was providing the necessary stuff. So we were very happy.
What did your father do?
My father, he was working in a foreign company called Volkat Brothers. It's a Swedish company, and he was the chief mechanic. He used to maintain typewriters. He used to maintain the typewriters. This company, they used to import typewriters and supply typewriters to all the business, banks, hospitals, any other business organizations. So once they supply the typewriters, they have a contract with them to maintain them, and my father was the chief mechanic. So he had other people working for him also. So he used to the organizations, that part, supplying the typewriters and maintaining, depended on him, and he was very good. So he was liked by his company. Later on, when Bangladesh became independent, that company actually closed. So my dad, he opened up his own business doing the same kind of thing. He had his license also to import typewriters. So he used to import typewriters and supply the typewriters to different business organizations, and then he used to maintain them. And he was a very hardworking person. He was very honest with his client, and they respected him. He used to get a lot of respect. But he used to work hard. Yeah.
So, did Dada have that job throughout your childhood? Like he had that chief mechanic job since you were born?
Yes, when I was child, yeah, he had the job at Volkat Brothers, and then then he went into business. So I remember him going to the office, and then later he had his own office. He had his own business. He was not able to. We had other neighbors who were very, very rich, but he was not able to, provide that much. But what he was providing better than some other families which we saw. So we were very happy about that.
So, you think Dada gave you a good foundation in life?
Yes, he wanted us to go to good schools, So I attended one of the, as a matter of fact, I attended best schools in Chittagong. Yes.
How were you able to go to the best schools in Chittagong?
The foundation was laid by my father. So the elementary school, when he was putting me into elementary school, he got the best school, and then he had he used to know people. He had acquaintances, and through his business and stuff. So I guess they helped him to get admitted. He helped us to get admitted into this school. So, and from there.
Did he have to pay for your early school?
No, elementary school was free, and then we went to high school. That was one of the best school also. So we had to sit for an exam, and I passed the exam, and so I got admitted to the high school. It was one of the best school also. So there on finished my 10th grade, and then went to intermediate. We call intermediate college, which is 11th and 12th grade. That was also. One of the good colleges. One of the good colleges is called Haji Muhammad Mohsin College.
So
I finished my 12th grade at that school, that college.
So did you have to pay for college?
Yes, we had to pay for college, but the tuition was very, because government subsidized the education, so the tuition was minimum. Affordable, very affordable.
So did Dada pay for that?
Dada paid for that, yes.
Okay. And then high school, all the other stuff was free?
High school, I think high school was free, yes. And then again, the school that I went to is it's not a it's a government school.
So growing up, did you ever? Was there ever any financial difficulties growing up, or you were always kind of, in the mindset of, we're fine, from your elementary to college time period,
Yeah, we were fine. I didn't feel like the necessary stuff my father always provided, whatever we needed. We knew that my father, he's not. He's not very, very rich, but he was able to provide all the necessary stuff. So I didn't feel like I'm missing anything.
Mm-hmm. And was there a big financial change when he had to leave the foreign company and create his own business?
We didn't feel that way. Because he planned it when he kind of knew that will happen. So when the war started, he already had a plan in his mind, and he implemented it. He put up he built up a shop, and then he started his own business.
Okay. So I want you to talk about yourself growing up. What did you care about your early childhood? So elementary, middle school, what were the stuff that you cared about? What did you think about for your future? What did you want to do? What were your passions? What were your ideas for the future? What did you enjoy doing as a kid?
So as a kid, I just spent time playing, and I started playing soccer when I was a very early age, and I enjoyed playing soccer. So on my 8th, 9th grade, I started playing. They selected me in the junior national team soccer. It's called Muhammad Sporting Club, and so I was playing for that team. So I was initially I thought that yes, I'm going to be a professional soccer player. So as I started growing older, and I'm in the 9th grade, I started, focusing on what the future is going to bring for me. And I see my father is getting a little tired. He does not have as much as energy that he used to have. So I'm like, okay, so what can I do? And so looking at the future of a soccer player, I didn't see much future, because they don't get well paid, and then also if they have injury, they cannot play, and their life stops there. I mean, they have to find something else. So and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, it is. We are prone to have accident, injuries. So then I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, so I have to study and do something.
What time period was this when you kind of had a shift in mindset?
When I was in 9th grade.
You were in 9th.
Yeah. So the 8th grade, the final exam, I did very poor, but got promoted. But then you have 10th grade, you have to go take a board exam. And if you don't do well in board exam, you're not going to be able to go to a good college. If you cannot go to a good college, and then you won't be able to choose a good subject to study. So all these things now coming to coming to picture, and so I'm like, I have to study.
So why did education become so important to you all of a sudden? Was it because, like, you're seeing soccer doesn't have a future, and you're thinking about your future?
Correct. So I'm seeing that soccer doesn't have a future, and I'm thinking about future, and that's what shifted me. That's what was the I'm like, and my father, he works very hard on with his business. So I was saying that this is a very hard job. What can I do? Is there so then I had family members who are studying medicine and who are already practicing medicine. So looking at them, they're like, oh, their life is better, relaxed than my father's. So, and education is the answer.
And so, did you always think about your life independent to your father? Like, how am I going to be independent from my father? Is that something you always thought about, or you started to think about later?
I didn't really think that way. I thought, like, how can I contribute into the family? How could I? Because I see that, and I was grateful to my father that he is providing for us. Some of the families are not as privileged as we were, so I was grateful. So I was in my mind that I have to help him. I have to help him when he when time comes, when he gets older. So that was in my mind, and I didn't know what to do, but I had that feeling.
So that's what kind of drove you through kind of your early adult life, like I need to help my father. That was the primary motivation? Or one of the primary motivations?
That was one of the motivation, yes.
What would you say the other motivation?
The other motivation was I want to do a good earning. I have to my future. I have to earn. I have so I want to do something, and something that would be honest back home. When actually, so when I was growing up, I see a lot of corruption going on. So I didn't want to be part of the corruption.
What type of corruption?
Corruption means people take bribery. So I'll give you a specific example. One of the teacher that I encountered for tutoring, he was he studied engineering in Chittagong, and he was the first student in the class. So when he graduated, he got a job with the government company. It's called Chittagong Development Authority, CDA, and when he wanted to be really an honest person, but they wanted to bribe him with every contract that they're bringing. The contractors, they wanted to bribe him, but he wouldn't take he wouldn't go that way. And then he got warning from higher authority, like from ministers, from the government, that you are not doing a good job. We have to transfer you to another place, to a different place. So then he quit the job, and then he went to the engineering college to teach. So he became a teacher. So if you want to if you have a job, and then there will be corruption going on like that. So either you go, if you want to be an honest person, so what I saw is you have to struggle. But I was ready to do the struggling. So I wanted to have an honest living, and also science interested me. So I wanted to do something in science. Okay, so my father gave me some money, and he gave me the ticket. He bought me the ticket for me, and he gave me some money that I could survive at least 1 month. So I was able to pay the tuition right away. I was able to pay the tuition, and I was paying tuition for the language school, and then I started working. I started working right away. So like after 1 week, I went around with my cousin, and then after a week I started working. I started making money.
Okay, so you're saying that your dad helped you with the money. Why was he so willing to help you?
He wanted me to get a good education, and I convinced him that I was going to get a good education.
Mm-hmm. And he had trust in you?
I'm sure he had trust in me. That's why. He gave me $1,000 and the ticket. So with that $1,000 US. Okay. So that money I could go for probably about 2 months in Paris. I mean, not spending a whole lot of money, just but after a week I started working. So first month, I guess I spent a little bit of money, not much, from what my father gave me. I put all of them into the bank account, and I started working. And from the first week, very beginning. So after the first week, so I had money to pay for my living, and I had money to pay for tuition. After the first 2 months, first 2 or 3 months, I sold flour. Used to go out and buy flour from the flour market, and then sell them on the subway, station, street. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all because these law enforcement people will go and they will ask you to move out of there. They will ask you, leave the place. So I didn't like that. I'm like, no, this is not for me. So I got a job in a restaurant after like 2-3 months. So I was happy that I got a job in the restaurant. Not that it is any easier, but I like the fact that I don't have to deal with the law enforcement people.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you didn't really work in Bangladesh at all. So like, how was that shift in like not needing to work? Just like.
Well, it didn't really, because I already made up my mind. I got motivation that whatever work it is, I will do it because I want to get a better education. So it didn't really matter. As long as I can do it, I will do it. So that kind of mentality I had, I set my mind into that. So it didn't really matter how difficult it is or what it is. So as long as I can do it, I will do it. So I just made up my mind.
So I'm gonna kind of ask this repeating question.
Sure, yes, go ahead.
So education was like.
Education was my focus.
It was your motivation. That's what motivated.
That's what motivated me.
And why specifically like education at that time? Because it was going to propel you
to a better future. Yes.
And that's what you believed in. That's why.
Yes, that's what I believed in.
Do the flowers because.
Yes, that's what I believed in, and that's what I mean. The person, I mean, I go back to the cultural center, and that's what she told me also, that yes, if you want to, you want to get a better education, yes, they have, French has much better education than Bangladesh, but it's not easy. You have to work. But I'm not used to working in Bangladesh. Not the kind of work that I was doing in Paris. So that was the motivation that yes, in the future I'll have a better future if I have a good education.
And where did this big motivation for education come from? Like, why did you believe education was going to be the path forward to a good?
Okay, so as I was growing up, of course I'm looking around, and I see I see people in the community who are well-to-do, but their kids didn't go to school, so they don't have a good job, and what the job they're doing, I don't want to do that kind of job. So some people, they are selling tickets for theater in the black market to make money. I'm going into the black market. I'm like, no, I will kill myself instead of going to the black market doing stuff. So, and they were very handsome people. Their family well-to-do, but they didn't go to school. So they were doing some, odd job. And I'm like, no, I cannot do this thing. So, but and then I see other people who have good education. They are teaching. They're becoming teachers, professors, and doctors, engineers, and they have a better life. So that's the life I want to have.
And you just observed this, like your dad or your mom or other kind of mentors or people you had in your life, did they also say, oh, education, 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 or is that something that you just observed?
Something that I observed, and my father also, he emphasized on education. He would say that the education is the answer to a better future. And my father, his business also depended on lots of communication, which he used to write. He has to write letters, he has to write a statement, and he used to struggle because he didn't really go to a college. He's probably did up to 10th grade, and but he was writing letters, he was writing statements, so he has to communicate. All the communication was in writing, so he would come to us for help. And so that's also, it's like, yeah, you need education. Even to do my father's job, you need better education. And then, you know, if you don't have education, what are you going to do? You know, you have rickshaw, that people doing rickshawala. That's so hard job. They cannot even make a living out of that by doing daily jobs. So yes, out of question. How are you going to do that? You cannot do that. Mm-hmm. Not possible to do this. And my father is giving me an education. Why I would think about not getting a good education. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. So let's go back to Paris.
Yes.
So let's talk about your life in Paris compared to Bangladesh and kind of, you know, how was your life in Paris?
Okay, so if I compare my life with Bangladesh and Paris, in Bangladesh it's like I was a prince, mm-hmm. because everything is provided for me. Mm-hmm. But in Paris, I had to think, and as soon as I wake up, I have to think about my food. I have to think about my living and my education. I mean, financing my education. So I have to think how am I going to, I have to think about earning money. So that was difficult, and very difficult in the beginning, because you have to, you're not permitted to work. They don't give you permission to work. So to do something, you know, that you are not permitted, consciously, it was not really helping me. But I know that I have to do it because my goal is something else. So to do that, I have to, you know, do this. So that was very difficult. Some people took it easy. They're like, oh, I'm making money, I'm making money, I'm making money. So some of the students who were there, they didn't, they just forgot about their education. They're making money because one Paris French currency was like 7 Bangladeshi rupees at that time.
You mean
Taka? Taka, yeah.
Rupees?
Taka, yeah. Yeah, so they were like, okay, now they can enjoy, they can go to a club, you know, they can enjoy, they can drink, you know, but I know that drink is forbidden, so I didn't even want to go close to the drink. But I would say 1% went to education, 1-2%. Rest of the people were like, oh, make money, have fun.
Mm-hmm. And why weren't you like that?
What's that?
Why weren't you like make money, have fun?
Okay, the first thing is my motivation was getting an education. That's number one. Number two is things that are forbidden. I'm not allowed to do it. I don't want to do it because I have this faith in my deep inside me. So things are forbidden. I want to stay away from it as much as I can. Mm-hmm. So that at that time I had that understanding. Mm-hmm. I had that understanding. So I was keeping myself away from them. And the other people, oh yeah, it's free mixing. Let's go. Let's see if I can get a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. But to me, it was no. You have to, whatever you're permitted by Islam, that's what you have to do.
And why do you think that you had such a strong kind of religious motivation versus other people? Just speak about yourself. Like, why is your
yes. Well, my father was religious, and he emphasized on being honest, and he was saying that, look, I'm struggling, but look, I'm respected in the community because I am honest. And that motivated me, that said, yes, I want to be like my father. I want to be like my father. And then when I'm getting education, that gave me the faith, that gave me the faith in Islam. And so together, I had that deep faith inside me that I have to, So basically, now I understand that Islam is the one that gave my father also that the driving force, right? And so I'm like, yes. And as help, I'm asking Allah to help me, right? So when there's no help, no one wants to help you, and I turn to Allah, that Allah help me. And things get better, and I say, Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So in Paris.
Yes.
What were the jobs that you did? You could say briefly.
Okay, the first job was buying flour from a flower market, which is we are not permitted, but we used to hide ourselves and then buy flour, and then come and sell it in the street. Yes. So that was not permitted either, but we are like, if we don't, as long as there is no law enforcement people, yes, general people would not say anything. They will be, they will tip you because they know that you need money, so that's why you're standing there. But if law enforcement comes in, then they're like, get out of here.
How did you get that job? How did you find out?
Yes, so my cousin, he used to do that. So he took me to the market, showed me the place. As a matter of fact, he couldn't do it, but he told somebody else to take me to the market and show me around because he has to attend school. So they showed me, and I didn't like it, but I'm like, okay, I have to do it. And I was asking Allah, please show me something else to do. So sure, I got somebody came up to me and said, hey, they're looking for people to clean up houses. And I said, yeah, sure, I will go, because it is better than selling flour. So I went there, and I worked with the contractor to clean up house, and he said, oh, this boy does very good job, and the next time when they have to clean up the house, he will call me first, and then he says, if I know, I see how you are very you're a good worker, and I want to get you a job. I said, well, that would be good if you can find a job for me. And so he offered me the job in the restaurant. And I was happy. I said, Alhamdulillah, that's Allah answered my question. Allah answered my what I was asking for.
And who was this person?
It's a random person. It's a random person. He was looking for. He was actually. He's the contractor. He takes contract with governments like actually foreign government. He used to work for Pakistani government, and so he used to clean up houses for foreign workers. I mean diplomats. So he would, if there's a work, somehow the first time he needed people, so someone came up to me and said, someone going to go clean up house, do you want to go? And they're going to pay you good. I said, yes, sure, why not? So I went there, and he saw me, and then he called me next couple of times, and then he said, well, I have a job. So I said, okay. And it turned out to be that actually he was one of the partners of that restaurant. So he wasn't really working in that restaurant. He was, but the other two partners were working in that restaurant. So he will come once in a while. He will work, but the other two partners actively working into that restaurant, and they got me the job. It was a hard job. You have to clean up the dishes. You have to, prepare food. There was a chef, help the chef. So yeah, but I was happy that I don't have to sell flour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what was you said the background of this person was Pakistani, right?
He was from Pakistan, yes.
And do you think that helped you? Do you think that helped with your relationship with him and getting the job, but also getting referred to the restaurant job because you're both from South Asia? You're both maybe Muslim?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because he saw me how I was honestly working, because other workers, they were goofing up. They're not cleaning up properly. So he goes back and he sees my work and he says, no, this boy, he does a good job. He's honest with his work.
Mm-hmm. And what were the backgrounds of those other people?
They were also like foreigners. They're from people from Pakistan, from other places. I think they were there for visiting. They were with their visiting visa or something like that, and they stayed over there and they just working, making money, having fun.
And so, was the restaurant like your last job?
No, so the restaurant was my second job. So after the flour, selling flour, I went to do the restaurant, and that was my second job. And so that I did for about 3-4 months, and then I was admitted to university. Once I got admitted to the university, they gave me work permit to legally work in France 20 hours as a student on a student visa. So then I applied in a department store. Some person who was working there came up to me and said, they're hiring, do you want to go? So I went there and they hired me. I filled out the application, they hired me, so I was working as in the department store. I was working in the register. So I really liked that job. So that was my last and final job over there. I worked there for a year and so.
Mm-hmm. The department store?
Yes.
So, how was your experience with the language and adapting to a new language and a new culture? I was very young at that time, so language came out. It was then very difficult, and learning the language. And again, Kathy told me, the director from the cultural center, he says, once you go to France, Paris, you will learn better. You're going to interact in the culture, and so that was true. People have more respect for each other, and their language is polite. Back home, if you don't have a good job, they don't respect you. But here, it doesn't matter what you do, people respect you for who you are.
Yes. I mean, apparently that's what it show.
That was your experience?
That was my experience, yes, at that time.
Yeah. So you told me that before, you told me that the North Africans in France actually...
Yeah, so when I was leaving, I started living there, and after a year, I'm watching, listening to the. Before I was so busy, I was doing what I had to do, and then come home and study. But now I'm exploring, going to different places, meeting different people, meeting students, So now what I'm seeing now my world before was very much focused into me. Now as I'm looking around and what I see, of course, I'm not, some of the stuff I'm not liking it, and that's one of the stuff that I didn't like.
What was one of the stuff that you didn't like?
That the government discriminating other nationals who are living over there.
And who were those people?
These people were from their colonies. People from Tunisia, from Morocco, from Algeria,